You can't hear yourself anymore. You can't hear that impulse voice of what makes you an individual, of what makes you different, of what you love. So you have to understand that you're cutting through this vast cloud of smoke, the screen that has been put in front of you that is preventing you from understanding yourself. So you have to look inward, and it takes time. It is a process like everything else. A lot of people come to me with this problem, and they're in a hurry. They're in a hurry to know what their life's task is. I'm saying you can't understand that in a day or a week or a month. It's going to take years. The first phase of the process is discovering your life's task. And that's the key to everything. It's the key to having a fulfilled life. It's the key to being happy in life. It's the key to reaching the goals that you want. Because what it is the process of self-understanding, self-knowledge. You have to become aware of what you were destined for in this life. You were born a unique individual. And it's a very interesting thought. It's the same kind of thought about your brain. There will never be another Michael Gervais. Your DNA is unique. The way your parents brought you up, their DNA is unique. The way they brought you up is unique. Your early experiences. You are a true individual, right? And that individuality is, I would compare to like a seed, right? It's been planted in you. And your destiny, your fate in life, is to know what that seed is, to know who you are, what makes you different from everybody else, and to cultivate it. And if you don't understand that, the apprenticeship phase will be misery, because you will start trying to learn and do things that aren't suited to your nature. Your brain has what I call a grain to it. And there's a book that I tell people that I like a lot called The 5 Frames of Intelligence by Howard Gardner. And he basically shows that there are 5 different kinds of intelligence. We tend to overemphasize the intellectual, the analytical skill, but there's musical intelligence, pattern intelligence, mathematical intelligence. There's social intelligence. There's kinetic intelligence, which has to do with the body and movement. There are 5 of them. I don't remember all of them. Yeah. You have one of them. There's one of them that's stronger than the others, right? It's where your brain naturally gravitates towards. And if you don't have the right fit, if you're launch your career, you go into law because you think it's going to be making a lot of money, but in fact, your brain and your that seed was made for something else. You're going to end up hitting a wall at some point. You're going to be burning yourself out, and your life will take bad turns, and things will, you will never reach the goals that you want. And so, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what makes you different, then the apprenticeship phase is useless.
Yeah, and we're skirting the kind of the obvious is mastery of self and mastery of craft. Mm-hmm. And I am far more interested in mastery of self. The craft is just a unique working laboratory to better understand it. Where do you orientate, mastery of self or mastery of craft?
Well, these are words, and really mastery is an organic whole, and it's kind of hard to separate the two. Because yourself is the craft and the craft is yourself. So the dividing line is very fluid. And so the craft is what's training you. Like writing books has changed me. I'm not the same person. I am the person who writes the books, right? And yet I bring myself to it. And to reach that level, I've had to master myself. And it's been a very arduous, difficult process. It took me many years. I didn't have success until I was basically 38, 39 years old. I was up till then quite a bit of a failure. So the process of mastering myself was very, very difficult, but you can't separate that from mastering the art of writing, So if you're just mastering yourself, but you're not doing it for something, it's not connected to a goal, it's not connected to something concrete, then it won't mean anything. We have to live in a physical world. We have to be concrete, physical creatures. And the craft has limitations. You can't do anything. If you're mastering the piano, you can't just play anything. You have to learn the technique. You have to learn scales. There's a process, and it limits you. And working within those limitations develops you as a person, right? So the actual craft itself, the limits that it presents, and the process of mastering them is what will help you master yourself. You can't separate the two.
So I frame it as mastery of self through craft.
Okay.
So craft is, I like how you're saying there's limitations to it. I like that. And I agree in so much that I'm not that interested in what the craft is. It's almost like the excuse for the internal world that we all inhabit to be better understood. You pointed to the importance of self-discovery prior to apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So let me just go back to that.
Sure.
How do you think that people ought to better understand who they are? And or, if you want to take it a second turn on it, what their purpose in life might be?
Well, you're working against a culture that is trying to make it harder for you to do that because everything is externally oriented. Social media, what are other people doing? All of your attention is focused outward on what's going on in the culture, what other people are sending signals through your phone. And so the ability to look inward at who you are is harder than ever before. It wasn't when I was growing up. I was an introvert, and it was kind of a natural process. If I were growing up now, I don't think I would have developed the same way, obviously. So you have to begin from the process of I have to know who I am, and it doesn't come easily because you're surrounded by voices. And the way the metaphor I give is that seed that I talked about, that individuality that you have, is like a voice in your head. The great psychologist Abraham Maslow, he called them impulse voices. They're voices saying that this is what I like, this is what I love. And as you get older, you accumulate the voices of your parents, your teachers, your peers, the culture at large, and it drowns it out. You can't hear yourself anymore. You can't hear that impulse voice of what makes you an individual, of what makes you different, of what you love. So you have to understand that you're cutting through this vast cloud of smoke, this screen that has been put in front of you that is preventing you from understanding yourself. So you have to look inward, and it takes time. It is a process like everything else. I do consulting with this, and a lot of people come to me with this problem, and they're in a hurry. They're in a hurry to know what their life's task is. I'm saying you can't understand that in a day or a week or a month. It's going to take years. It took me 18 years to discover the kind of books that I wanted to write, right? So it's a process. You have to begin like journaling. You have to kind of write down things. You have to become aware of the things that you love and the things that you hate. And I bring it down to a basic level. The foods that you love, the kinds of things that you like to drink, the clothes that you wear, just understanding what makes you different from other people.
Yeah.
You have to go through this process.